I now recognize Ms. Escobar to strike the last word. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'd first like to express my strong support for this bill, which I think is an act of patriotism to recognize the women and men who have so selflessly served on behalf of our nation. It honors our veterans, it honors our commitment to veterans, and I cannot imagine that anyone in the U.S. Congress would vote against our veterans. Having said that, I would like to yield the remainder of my time to the distinguished gentleman from California who has been a champion for all veterans, but especially deported veterans, Mr. Correa.
Thank you, Ms. Escobar. Just wanted to say and remind folks that due process does not guarantee justice. So we have veterans that are convicted, do their time, pay their price, pay their crime, restitution, and then they're deported. So they pay twice for a crime. In America today, we hold veterans to a higher position in our society. We appreciate their sacrifices for our country. And that's why we have what are called veterans courts. Veterans courts recognize that veterans do run into the law. They have troubles. But if you're a veteran and you enter a veterans court, for drug offenses, for other offenses, you have a different track to follow, to be rehabilitated, to again address those invisible wounds that you may have brought back from the battlefield. We want to get you back on your feet. I've had the opportunity to visit deported veterans in Tijuana, Mexico a few times. It's interesting to see what they've done out there. They've gotten together, they built what's called a bunker where they live, big American flag, and this is their place. I've had the opportunity to talk to a number of them. I remember one individual struck up a conversation, told me he had done 8 tours of duty in Afghanistan. And I said, so what happened? He said, one day I woke up, was choking my wife in the middle of the night. Was convicted and deported. All these individuals, all these deported veterans are honorably discharged. They have followed the laws, have served our country with honor. Then something happens in their lives. Most of these convictions are, of course, for drug and other offenses. But they are veterans. And I think we have to remember that they are veterans. They took an oath to defend our Constitution, our nation, and took a pledge of allegiance to our flag. Not to a foreign flag, not to the flag of their birth, but to the American flag. And for that, we are not recognizing their sacrifices. Most of these veterans, deported veterans, are from the Philippines because of the active participations of Filipinos in our military. I just ask this committee, our members, we can nitpick this bill to death, but we ought to talk about how to make this good legislation that'll honor the service, the sacrifice, our immigrant veterans, their contribution to this great country. Thank you very much, and I yield the remainder of the time to Ms. Escobar.
Thank you, Mr. Correa. Madam Chair, I yield back.
The lady yields back. Does anyone wish to be recognized further? Hearing no one, then the question